I never know what's going on with you, if this is like an act or if this is part of the fun of being ChrissyD.
I mean, no. Well, ChrissyD was all fun and games.
Was.
Third
person.
Now we're coming into a part. Two major things have happened here. Okay. One, I've refound my love for Christ, and I'm back believing. I'm back being Catholic. I'm back in.
Nice.
Got 2 feet in Catholicism.
Okay.
We're back, baby. And then the other thing is I 6 months ago, I had this beautiful house, Staten Island, right? Everything we wanted. Sold the house because I was having anxiety about doing a show at Radio City. Swear to God, my brain couldn't process it that way. But through therapy, the therapist figured out, and it's right because I checked on this with my girlfriend, and she was like, "That's exactly what you did." Was very nervous about Radio City. Didn't know where to put that energy because it was a big show. I'm a New York guy. Biggest weekend of my life. So I said, about 2 weeks before Radio City, came home and said, "We're putting up the house for sale. I want to be able to walk to a bagel store. We can't walk to a bagel store at this house on Staten Island. I need that for my creative process." And my girl was like, "What are you doing?" "We just renovated our kitchen, the living. You just poured money into this. Is our home." I was like, "I can't walk to a bagel store and it's going to fuck my comedy up. It will."
What?
And she, yeah, and then people, if you knew my address back then, you would know that there's was a bagel store 0.9 miles away that I didn't know about, but.
But you had a dream house.
I had a dream house that we put to our liking, and I said didn't understand it then. I said, "We're selling the house," and I convinced my family, because that's what we can do, right? As comics, I convinced them. I had them buy this story. Convinced my girl, my family. What's going to be better for us is to sell this 5-bedroom house. Here's the move. We're going to sell this 5-bedroom house for about $300,000 under asking price. We're going to get out of this puppy. We're going to sell that. We're going to move to Queens, where we can walk to stuff and bagel stores and be in civilization. We're going to temporarily live in a 2-bedroom apartment. And then we're eventually going to move into a condo, and life's going to be better because I won't have to care for these grounds anymore. I won't have to throw out the garbage. We'll be safe in an apartment. People can't come in the back window of our home, and this will be the move. And I did that, and then the apartment that we had lined up fell through. We left the apartment we were living in because it had roaches. Jasmine almost left me. She was almost like, "I can't be a part of your chaos and self-sabotage anymore." And I had to kind of really just say, what the hell did I just do? Figure this problem out. Went back into therapy, turned back into religion, starting to find some answers. And now we're living in a home that we're renting that we like, and we're kind of settling in. But that I learned the lesson of self-sabotage the hard way. It's weird. What's going on in my career right now? Selling the most tickets I've ever had, financially the best I've ever done, getting all these opportunities. Was the worst version of me as a human being. Not because I was just self-sabotaging after self-sabotaging, and I didn't know why.
Do you have friends that you could talk to about this stuff?
Yeah, but they're, they call me gay. You know what I mean? Like, they're old school New York guys that are like, "I don't fucking know, dude, get a therapist." And I'm like, well, yeah, what I had to do, I really felt like nobody could really help me with this. I was like, I got to just turn to professional therapist, and then I turn back to going to church. And I was like, well, at least I have, like, if anything for me, church is just an hour a week to just meditate and sit there, and I have nothing. I have no thoughts. I have no technology. I'm like, this is just me and whoever I think God is. That's how I feel about it. But that chaos stuff, because people always, Chrissy chaos, I was actually living in it, and I was like, okay, now what I've done, now I've like hurt my family. Now I've done a thing that's like not funny. Now I've like taken things from my kids because I thought my kids would be like, "Oh yeah, Dad," like my 8-year-old. We had that, this moment that kids are just kids. I'm like telling him, like, "Isn't this great, baby? Like, we can walk to the bagel store now. We can go to the park. We're not like living off the side of a highway." And she was like, "Well, I love that we had a pool." And I was like, "Yeah, but isn't it better that we can, don't have a pool now and we can go to like the pool club?" And she was like, no. She was like, honestly, she was like, "We did it for you. So I'm happy that you're happy, but I miss my friends." And then I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did I do? So I kind of have been like backtracking as much as I can, little by little, to try to like recorrect these mistakes. And now my family is more on board. Now my family's like, hey, we're with you. We're with you, but we got to figure this out. So now we're settled finally in a place, and we're kind of falling in love with the neighborhood we're living in as time has went on. And my kids are finding friends and all that, and I'm not going to take that from them. I'm not going to, be like, well, wherever we are now, we're going to stay for years so they can build the bonds and the friendships that they need that I inadvertently took away from them without me even realizing.